I've used the ZF for quite a few shoots now, so I feel like I can give an accurate real-world review rather than just unboxing it and reviewing it. So I've had Nikon cameras since the D3S, and I've shot hundreds of weddings, literally thousands of headshots and portraits, shot, I don't know, hundreds of videos. So I feel like I'm really well equipped to give you a review on this. I own over 20 Nikon cameras that I use literally every day. So it's not a hobby, this is what I do for a living, have several employees that use them as well. So first off, it looks good. Everyone agrees with that. Few things I love: the battery. I love that it's the same as all of my other Nikon cameras. The Z9 does not take the same battery, but this takes the same battery as pretty much every other recent Nikon camera. Screen's pretty cool. I like that you can flip it around and it won't scratch in your bag. It's pretty cool because it can go this way if you're shooting like a selfie video. It took some getting used to because I'm used to just tilting it down, but now I have to pull it out and tilt it down. But that is what it is. Love the autofocus. If you're coming from basically any camera Z6, Z7, or before, any of the mirrored cameras, this autofocus is absolutely incredible. The eye detect will detect the face from incredibly far away. The Z6, Z7, they have the eye detect. Even the Z6 II has the eye detect, but this one is better. It works better in low light. It's more accurate. It tracks the eye better. And then if you shoot pets or anything besides humans, it has a lot more settings for that as well. So these dials on top. Really, it's for looks. I have yet to figure out how to set this to my shutter and this to my aperture like any normal camera. Hopefully they'll fix that in a firmware software update. But right now you have to you can set one to your aperture or your shutter. But for some reason, I cannot figure out for the life of me how to set that to aperture and that to shutter like any normal camera. I'd also like a either dedicated ISO button or program the eye, or even the record button like I did on my really old cameras to hold that and set the ISO with your shutter. Can't figure out how to do that. It's like they put in these fancy dials, but they're not allowing you to customize these dials like any normal camera, and that's to force you to buy the more expensive Z8. I don't know. Micro SD card slots, kind of weird, but as long as you use a fast micro SD card slot, it's fine. I always use it for backup. I record to both, so I just leave them both in there anyway until the event's over, and then I switch one of them out until I have it backed up. So overall, I think that this camera looks cool. It has great autofocus, great low light performance. I think what I'm going to do is just use this more for video, just put it on my gimbal and leave it there, because changing the shutter aperture ISO is not as easy as it could be. Hopefully a firmware software update will let you put those settings where they should be. But the autofocus is so good, the low light is so good, and when you shoot video, you typically don't change settings as much on the fly, so I think I'm leaving this one on my gimbal. I'll keep my Z6 II for normal photo work, and then probably the Z8 is the best overall. However, we all know it's quite a bit more expensive. So if it's between this and the Z6 II, if you're doing mostly video, then this. If you're doing mostly photo, or let me rephrase that. If you shoot in anything besides manual, this is the best bet. But if you shoot in manual and you're constantly changing controls and lighting environments, then this is just annoying. It could be fixed with a software and firmware update, but as of right now, I can't figure it out. So if you're shooting in auto, aperture priority, shutter priority, just get this. If you're complete manual like we are, this is just annoying. I hate that the Z6 II, the autofocus isn't as good, but it's way easier to use. So it is what it is. I don't know if that's helpful or not, but that's my review.